Hello, stream.
Hello. Hello in all languages.
We are late, but that's fine.
Yeah, we were doing some housekeeping for a little bit.
Updating our safe house and our notes and all that fun stuff.
Yes. But along with that, how's everybody doing, and are we excited?
Very.
So excited. Oh shit, that's a lot of superficial health. Whoops.
Huh?
I've got 4 superficial health marked down.
It's fine.
Are we having a time
off.
skip enough to skip that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
As long as you're not aggravated, you're fine.
No, I was not.
I was gonna say, plus, didn't y'all visit weren't we dragged to the doctor, like, right after the last session?
I'm fairly certain that's why I don't have aggravated.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, Gladys and Edgar got messed up.
Yes.
Edgar was more so mentally than physically, but yeah.
And then Glad said, fuck vampires.
Yeah. Hey, fun fact.
Yes, Dengle? Hi, Kraken.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, sure. Super fun. So
Who's,
much fun.
Who's excited?
Me! Been looking forward to this all day. This is probably the most normal I've felt in like 48 hours at least.
Fair.
Going again to a hunter game, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Probably good. I don't know.
We'll go with that.
At least it's not like going into a demon game. You're like, I feel normal. That's probably not okay.
Dude, speaking of demons, some of those new creatures from Blood Sigils. Holy shit.
Yeah, I didn't even look at those, to be honest with you.
Oh my god! You'll be seeing some of them pop up, don't worry. There's like actual demonic entities and stuff.
Oh boy.
So that tells me that they're probably working on, I guess it would technically be D5?
I don't think so. However, I'm sure we're going to see more of demonic stuff popping up.
Ooh,
because
maybe
technically
they're working on...
these things are like from the sorcerers and everything, but it talks about how it like makes you sin and how it brings that to the surface and you have to spend willpower to not do that. From the first level one.
Yeah. They might actually be working on a Bali conversion. Like an official Bali conversion.
Doubt it, but maybe. That's actually what I'm going to be using these things for.
And if it's sorcery, then they might also be working on an actual mage conversion.
Right.
That's what I've heard is next.
I would be fine with that. Scared, but fine.
Yeah, I don't think that we would play it per se. But yeah.
There's a lot to mage, I'm not surprised.
It depends. If they do a good conversion, it won't be god-awful.
Right, but it's still mage.
Right. We'll have to see.
There's a lot.
There is a lot. I would be fine with mage or demon. I wouldn't mind a book that went into, like, the background splats and stuff. Not necessarily like gameplay, but like a storyteller's thing about how to use these things in your chronicle, similarly to Bloodstained Love.
Kind of like how to use Mummy and how to use Wraith.
Or elements of them.
Yeah.
Storyteller's guide instead of a player's guide.
Yeah. That would be great. Because then you could do stuff with Mage and all of their other splats, and you wouldn't even have to put rule sets to them.
Do you mean kind of like I just wing it anyway?
Yeah.
When I have used it, of course.
Yep.
And I'm sure you absolutely just winged it when you used Demon.
Absolutely, I did. I did take some rules and inspiration from the old books, but I just winged it for everything else.
We did make one mistake with the demon thing. When it was raining bugs, it was supposed to be actually raining bugs, not just an illusion.
I thought it was the illusion thing, but that's fine. That works too. Either way.
Honestly, I think the illusion might be scarier.
It certainly pissed Rufus off more.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Yes, Murs, I only use large coffee cups. Size matters. Oh boy. I forgot what we were talking about.
Oh, taking inspiration from other slats.
Oh, yes. Yeah, a storyteller's guide would be fantastic. And actually, we could probably write that.
Probably.
I've got so much other stuff to do, but
yeah,
that would be a thing.
That was literally what I was about to say, is we have a lot of other things going on, so let's not...
Food for thought.
Yeah, when we get everything else done, if they haven't already taken care of that, we should probably think about it.
Yeah. Anything else we need to go over? Because it's getting late.
I'm good to go.
Ready to go when you three are.
I'm pushing the button.
All right, so, hello, welcome back. This is Nichol's Cryptid Catchers, our Hunter Chronicle. I am Dengle, your storyteller, and before I do further introductions, this is World of Darkness. So keep that in mind while we proceed. Things may pop up that you want to take a step back and kind of make sure you're okay with, potentially. That happens, please do that. If you cannot proceed or do not want to, that is perfectly fine. We will do a recap. Joining me this evening is Faye playing Gladys.
Hello.
Buttons playing Rose.
Good evening.
And then, most importantly, Nen playing Edgar.
Hello.
So, what happened last time we were playing as a group? of actual hunters.
Oh, actual hunters, not a kindred, a ghoul, and a hunter.
No.
We fought a Malkavian, and Edgar got mind controlled through half of the fight.
There was some other stuff that went on there, but yeah,
We
that
were
covers the
forced-
majority of it.
We were forced to work with a gangrel.
Yeah, that particular gangrel, I'm sure, doesn't have any ties to anything further on in the timeline.
Not in this chronicle. In another one,
No,
yes.
no, not in any of them really. It's kind of like where we're going doesn't have any ties to anything else.
No.
So, speaking of, would anybody like to remind us where we are going?
Wisconsin.
If people want to start, if you're playing along, we're trying to hit as many states as we can.
I can name the ones we've hit already.
Yep,
it's actually a decent chunk of them, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. A lot of them have been in the Northeast, oddly enough.
Yeah, we got Washington, Vermont, Massachusetts, Utah, Connecticut, Oregon, Delaware, Nebraska, come on, notes, and Michigan.
Yep. And now we're going to Wisconsin. So, we will join our cell roughly 3 weeks after they get back from Michigan. You have had plenty of rest, plenty of recovery time. Business is actually starting to boom a little bit. People are staying actually busy. And you've actually had to hire on, well, forced to hire on the 2 new mechanics that are not quite fully mechanics. However, even with the staff of 7 people now that's actually working in the shop, everybody's staying busy, which is fantastic. So over that 3 weeks, besides recovery, has anybody done anything special?
Did shit with Eugene and maybe went to go see... God, I can't never remember his name. Gareth.
Yeah. That'll be at the end. So, Rose and Edgar, have you done anything special?
Would Edgar be able to expand the armory a bit more?
You can absolutely expand the armory. You know enough people and you can get a hold of enough things still to add a couple to your collection. Not necessarily anything huge, but definitely a couple new, I don't want to call them toys, but items.
And Edgar would also talk to Gladys and see if there's any way of getting some more explosive materials to take down a supernatural being while keeping it alive.
Oh shit, you're gonna do it?
Yeah.
I don't know if we have context for that.
Well, you work for the government, so...
I mean, that's fair. She would be thrilled to have that stuff.
They can start getting that stuff together for you. It wouldn't be an immediate thing. Mostly because stuff like that's being routed elsewhere for obvious reasons. But you can get here and there small shipments.
Other than that, spend time with the dog and read, probably.
Okay. So, as was stated, as Gladys is visiting Garrett, Rose and Edgar, I assume you were back in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Having a nice visit, Gladys is with Gareth and doing whatever research it is that she's doing.
Finishing up those werewolf bullets.
Yes. Couple days in, he comes to you and he's like, so I've got a thing that I kind of forgot that I had.
Okay.
Feel like you should have it. It's one of like the only things that I actually have that was your dad's.
What do you mean you forgot about it? You raised me.
Yeah, it was in the bottom of the trunk. And to be fair, and he pulls it out of his pocket and it's just this solid iron chunk of whatever with a bit of chain attached to it. It's only about 6 inches long. It's like
Take
this. This is just one of those things that he had on him. Always had it on him before I kind of had to vacate and like get out of Dodge. I grabbed it from him just to hopefully eventually give it to you, but I stuck it in the trunk, got busy, and yeah. And as you look at it, the symbolism on it is actually somewhat familiar. And it almost puts a chill down your spine a little bit.
Okay.
It almost like the big sun thing in the box is what it kind of looks like. It's on the button, because ultimately that's what it is. But the button probably weighs, I don't know, a pound. It's unnaturally heavy for what it is.
Can she read any of the symbols on it?
There's no symbols. It's just the actual sun thing itself.
Oh, okay.
However, the very edge of it is rather sharp.
What
you
is
might
this?
actually.
She's asking me.
It was just something that he kept with him. He said it was a good luck charm. I know he used it for all sorts of crap. I know every once in a while he would hit things with it. Because, I mean, it's kind of heavy. The edges are sharp. I don't think he ever actually sharpened it, but I know you can, like, cut rope with it, too. I don't know what all it's good for, but...
Okay.
Yeah, just figured it'd be something that you would want, since you're actually pursuing this.
Okay.
He said it made him feel better. Made him feel safer. If it does the same for you, awesome. If it doesn't do the same for you, okay. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll play around with it and figure out what it is.
Yeah. Anyway, is there anything else I can help you with around here? I mean, I assume not.
No, I should probably be
Get everything
heading
handled.
back soon.
Well, just stay the night. There's no need to head out today. And I
No,
mean, it's like noon, so
I want to
you could, but
play around with this.
yeah. So let's stay the night. You can leave tomorrow. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I figure if something goes wrong, you'll probably be able to help me more because you know more about it.
I really don't. Like I said, it sat in a trunk for how long? A long time? I don't even remember how long. So it's yeah. Willing to help with whatever you need though.
6-7 years. Yeah, and then I don't know what you want me to do to try and figure that out.
Nothing right now.
Okay.
So you stay the night. And you wake up the next day. And Gareth has already made food, but he is nowhere to be found, which is kind of odd for him. You look around in the normal spots and it's not there, and finally you go to like his actual office, which he barely uses anymore, and you see him packing a duffel bag.
Where are you headed?
Up toward Green Bay.
Okay.
There's been a sighting of something.
Do you need help?
I'm not going to tell you that I won't take it if you want to give it, but I also understand if you don't want to. I've been not necessarily tracking this one, but it's been on my radar. It's just been sequestered away to where I didn't want to mess with it until now. So I figure might as well make an attempt before it hides away again.
I can call the others and see if they want to meet us up there. You want
Yeah.
actual backup?
Yeah, that would probably be good. And isn't Edgar from up that way?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it might be worthwhile to get him. Just make sure his whatever he has up there is good to go and safe.
Yeah. She'll scurry off to the phone. And call the others.
So Rose and Edgar, you were shortly thereafter called into the office.
Hi.
What's up?
You guys want to go to Wisconsin?
What are we going to Wisconsin for?
Backup for Gareth?
What's he hunting?
Not sure.
Mind asking him so we know what to plan for?
He hunts werewolves.
Rose will look at Edgar. Do you have anything for werewolves?
I can take a look. You'll probably find some silver bullets somewhere.
Yeah, we'll take a look, see what we can find, and then meet you up there.
Oh, I've been working at
Whereabouts are
werewolf
we going?
rounds.
Cool. Whereabouts are we meeting you?
You said Green Bay?
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Green
Yeah.
Bay.
All right. We'll pack some winter gear while we're at it.
Yeah, we'll meet in this place. Just somewhere.
The football stadium, because it's been there forever.
That.
Okay.
So Rose and Edgar, you get your things together. And Edgar, if I'm not mistaken, a while back you actually did buy a bunch of silver bullets.
I believe so.
Gladys would instruct them as to where she's kept the other werewolf rounds she has there at the building.
I feel like there's like 3 in one place, like 4 in another, and they're just kind of like scattered around.
Yeah.
So you can gather all your things and you start driving. And a couple days later, you sure enough meet on the still cold but not necessarily fully frozen lands of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And you're just like, all right, so a little bit of background, just because I feel like you should know what you're going into. This one has been hidden away for a while now. It's been on my radar. Don't know why it's still around, but it's been around for a while.
This one what?
Werewolf. I also don't know why it left Michigan.
How long is a while?
A couple 100 years.
Do they live that long?
Some of them can. Usually they kill each other before they get too old, but this one seems to be more of a loner. It's kind of odd. Makes excursions every once in a while, but typically out and back in a couple days. This one, it's been out for about a week now. So I'm gonna jump on it. It's from Europe too, so yeah.
That's quite a bit of travel.
Yeah, it originated over there. At some point it came over here, and yeah.
Is there something he's not telling us?
Would you like to make an insight check?
Sure. Two.
Not
Three.
that Edgar, not that either of you can discern. Last I heard, and this might have changed, taken the name of Vincent.
Why has this one been on your radar for so long?
Because he's old. And the older they are, the more dangerous they typically are. So, yeah. Only reason why I know that it's actually here is because there's been some bodies found that are very consistent with a specific mode of operation with him. A lot of pent-up rage and a lot of resentment, and the people that are being attacked are very similar.
Okay.
They're all of Polish descent. They've got darker hair, not necessarily fully dark hair. Typically, actually, not necessarily blue-collar workers, but they work with their hands. And they're just a very specific victim. So everything matches up. So I had somebody look, and they saw him. So it's going to be our job to find him, and hopefully, ideally, I would like to not kill him, actually. I'll explain more later, but there's things that I want to ask.
You can definitely ask him for a history lesson.
That's part of it. The other part is, well, it's pretty much all history. He knows things that might help other people that I know. So,
Okay. Do we have a lead or anything?
well, first, Edgar, you have family in the area, right?
Yeah, my mom's up here.
Would you like to go check in with her?
Probably a good idea.
Because where's your family from?
I grew up around here.
Right, but like, where's your family originally from?
New York area.
And before that, if I'm not mistaken, it's Eastern Europe.
I think he meant to ask if you're Polish or not.
Oh, no, I'm Dutch.
Well, might be safe, maybe. Let's hope. Still, let's go check in. We can look around a little bit more after.
Does he know what you look like? To Gareth.
Yes. And he actually pulls up his shirt. This one is from him, and he's got a large scar across his stomach.
Will we be leading them to them if we do this?
Ideally, it's going to be an ambush. It's not going to be leading anybody to anything.
I meant if we go check on his family.
It should be fine. As long as we do it now rather than in a couple days, he won't know that I'm here. The second he knows I'm here, he's going to want to come after me, though. Like I said, I've met him a couple times now, and it's one time wasn't that bad. The second time it was just happy I brought friends.
Oh boy. Well,
Yeah.
lead the way, Edgar.
It's good.
So you make your way through Green Bay to a suburb just outside of the city. And you pull up to a house. Does Nen have a specific idea of what this house looks like?
No. Probably be a 2-story though.
Yeah, it's a small 2-story. There's still Christmas lights up, and there's obvious signs of some landscaping neglect. However, all said and told, the house is not in terrible condition. Probably could use a fresh coat of paint, and I don't know, the flower bed's cleaned up, but beyond that, not too bad. And before you even knock on the door swings open, and out steps this little old lady. And I do mean little. She's all of maybe 5 foot tall. And if she's 110 pounds with like 7 rocks in her pocket, that'd be fantastic. She's Edgar!
Yeah, Ma.
And she carefully, but as quick as she can muster, runs down the thing and goes to hug Edgar. Does Edgar let her?
Yes.
You should have told me that you were coming. I would have gotten your room ready and made your favorite dinner. But I guess right now we're just going to have spaghetti.
I'm okay with that. It was kind of a last minute thing I got told about.
So who are your friends? I assume that they're not your girlfriend. They look a little bit young for that.
No. They're work colleagues.
Yeah.
Nothing through Miss Nichols. I told you about her.
You did. So which one's which?
I'm
That's
Rose.
what it is. That's Rose.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you. And who is that young man? Mind you, Gareth is like 2 years younger than Edgar.
That's Gareth. He's my uncle.
Oh. Well, come in. It's cold out here. It's not that bad, but it's cold. Mind the house. I haven't cleaned it today.
I'm sure it's fine.
And she kind of waddles her way up the sidewalk again and goes in the house. And you go inside, and the house is almost spotless. It's very obvious that she lives here alone. She has for a very long time. Everything is covered with something, whether it be blankets or doilies or who knows what. But everything is covered with something as to not allow for stains or whatever. She's like, just make yourselves at home. I will I assume that you're going to be staying in town for a couple days?
Yes.
Good. I will get the rooms ready. I apologize we don't have enough for each of you to have your own room, but we'll make things work one way or another.
Fine.
And you're just kind of, thank you, ma'am. So, Edgar, you didn't tell me your mom was one of these old ladies.
Was I supposed to warn you?
No, it's just kind of funny. It's like she's very stereotypical or something. But as long as she's happy, that's all that matters, right?
Yes.
Good. So, once we get everything settled in, I've got a couple places that I want to look. I know where he likes to hang out for the most part. Good thing is he's a creature of habit still.
Is that a good thing?
Makes him
Isn't that-
predictable. It's
I mean,
bad
Means he's
when
At that age,
Me-
it'd probably be worrisome if he switched up habits.
yeah. For whatever reason, he likes to be around gardens. Large gardens.
I mean,
So-
isn't nature kind of a werewolf thing?
Yeah, it's typically like not urban nature though. He doesn't mind being in cities. There's a certain degree that he actually tends to prefer them, from what I've seen. Might just be because he's just gotten comfortable with them. I don't know.
I guess he's had a long time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. We should probably hurry up and get everything inside and get settled down. Check it out before night falls.
Sure.
And everyone start helping pack things up.
Alright. So you
Gladys will
Take a
go
while
help
to-
in the kitchen if she needs it.
She doesn't. It's literally just spaghetti and sauce.
Okay, good.
It's canned sauce and
If
dried
Gladys doesn't want to
spaghetti.
help.
So it's food isn't great. It's edible. It's sustenance, but it could probably use some salt and some pepper. But you get a quick, very early dinner. It's like 2:30. And Gareth almost inhales his food and just kind of waits impatiently for everyone else to get done. Edgar's mom is very much trying to make everybody stay and talk. She apparently doesn't get much socializing. Asking a million questions of, well, you three. And Gareth, after the third or fourth very short 1 or 2 word answer, she stops asking him questions. And he's like, okay, I don't mean to be rude, but there is a couple things that we wanted to go check out. So now that everybody's done, we're gonna go ahead and take care of that real quick, and we'll be back. Okay? So okay, What kind of cookies do you like? I'll run to the store and get things.
Chocolate chip.
Oh, good, my specialty. Edgar knows that she won't mess them up. Again, not the best. And you all pack up and head out.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to talk about on the drive to your first destination?
So what exactly are we looking for?
Just signs of activity. Because, well, he likes gardens. He also likes to be alone. Even in an urban setting. So he doesn't do a very good job of hiding where he is necessarily. Also, if you see any non-native plants, let me know. Anything that shouldn't be there.
Is he trying to bring stuff over from his home country or something?
Not necessarily. It's just typically those things tend to follow him.
We'll keep a lookout.
If those things tend to follow him, does that mean there's something else following him?
Yes.
I take it that's a bad thing.
It's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Just if the thing that is following him finds him before we do, we're not getting him.
What's following him?
I don't even know what she's calling herself now. I know for a while there she thought she was funny and took on the moniker of the, one of the Slavic goddesses.
That's worrying.
Yeah, it's honestly not that big of a deal. She doesn't tend to really care about us so long as we don't mess with her. We cause problems for her, she reciprocates, but we leave her alone, she just kind of goes away.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the positive behind that.
Positive. Sure.
The negative is if we do end up actually causing problems for her, there is a 100% chance that either he will kill us or she will. We cannot defend from both of them.
Great.
Wonderful. And you were going to do this alone?
Yes, I was.
Gareth.
To be fair, I may or may not have been working on something that I think might work.
Oh.
And he actually pulls out the duffel bag that Gladys saw him packing. And he's got this thing that looks like a normal handgun, except it's got something electrical on the side. It's got a big battery, and you can see some wires running down. He's like, the idea is it shoots out 2 darts at the same time. They hit him, and then a large jolt of electricity seizes everything up.
Makes sense, I guess.
That's a fascinating idea.
It's very early stages, and I haven't actually been able to test it on something that I'd be willing to test it on. Right now, the delivery system's a little bit clunky, and it doesn't always turn on, which is the problem. But hopefully it'll work. I also don't even know if this thing will work on him. So yeah, that's fun.
Well, at least you have it just in case.
Yeah. And then I have no idea if it'll work on her at all, to be honest with you.
Well, hopefully she doesn't show up and we don't have to test it on her.
That's the hope. Anyway, here we're pulling up right now. And you pull up to kind of a small nature preserve. It is still heavily wooded, however, it is adorned with flowering bushes, seeing as it is very, very early spring, very late winter. Nothing's actually flowered yet. There's no leaves anywhere. And the place is basically a ghost town. It is public use. There is no actual entrance. It's just you walk in, you walk out. A bunch of nature trails is really all it is. And he puts the car in park, and he's like, so if you see something, immediately say something. I don't want to be caught, and pardon the expression, but with my pants down. Like I said, he is very dangerous. He is probably going to be extremely agitated. And if he realizes who I am specifically, it will absolutely send him into a full-blown rage, which is obviously not something that we want to deal with.
Is it a good idea for you to come with us right now, then? Do you want us to go and scout it and maybe flush him?
I can do my best to stay hidden. I've tracked him for 3 days, and outside of the occasional sniff, he hasn't actually seen me before. So I'm good at what I do, but if the wind changes, that might change. Have any of you actually ever dealt with a werewolf?
No.
Nope.
So, couple words of warning. You can talk to them and not even know that they are what they are under specific circumstances. You can pass by a dog, and that could potentially be one of them. Or it could be a full-blown wolf. They don't always look like one or the other, or something in between. And cycles of the moon do matter, but not as much as you would be led to believe. So just keep all that in mind.
Sure.
I've known of quite a few with corporate jobs that were prominent that nobody knew until, well, I came in one day and they disappeared.
Police aren't looking for you, are they?
Not that I know of. I mean, maybe down like Florida or something they might be, but not here. Had a alligator shape changer. Really young though, it's not a big deal.
That's a thing
big
too?
for his britches. Yeah, it's a thing. It's not that big of a deal though. There's not many of them around. At least I don't think there are.
Okay, so, but this one's a dog wolf thing, right? Like
This
an actual
one
regular one?
Yes. So yeah. Anyway, let's get going.
Yeah.
And he
As
will-
we move, Rose is gonna pop up Sense the Unnatural and kind of keep it on as long as she can.
Okay. So, if you get close, I will ask for a roll. But for now, I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay.
So the park is split up into like 5 sections. And it's just kind of like this big circle. Starting from 12 o'clock and then going right in a clockwise formation. Which section would you like to start with? Because you'd kind of park in the middle of it.
We're staying together, right? We're not splitting up?
Do you want to split up and fight the werewolf?
Hell no.
We're staying together.
Counterclockwise?
Okay.
So 1, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yep.
Okay. So you head out into the northernmost section. And it's pretty obvious pretty quickly that it is very, 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 very muddy through here. And it would be easy to be able to track somebody through here. So would anybody like to give me any rolls to see if they can find something that they would be able to track?
Yep.
Wits and survival?
If that's what you would like.
I mean, no, but I don't have anything better. I guess, could I use awareness?
Yeah, probably.
Or investigation, but I don't think that'll count.
I mean, either way.
I mean, I get an extra dice for that one.
Great.
My usual 3.
Okay, so 3, 3, 4. Okay. It seems fitting because Edgar, I've been here a couple times when it was warmer, so you kind of know your way around, and you know where to stay off of the mudded trails. Rose and Gladys, not so much. And you don't split up, but you do spread out. Rose and Gladys, you think you find things. They turn out to be normal dog tracks, though. Or at least you hope that they're normal dog tracks. One of you finds a lab. The other one, it runs off to a nearby neighborhood. Edgar, you find some tufts of hair. They don't seem like they would fit here. They're much darker and much more coarse.
I got something over here.
And Gareth makes his way through. He kind of picks it up and he runs it through his fingers. He's like, yeah, that's consistent. Can't guarantee that's him. He's at least been in this area, but it's consistent. And he doesn't necessarily always stay in the same place, so he's not necessarily going to be in here.
You've tracked him that many times you can just tell by his fur color?
I've seen enough of him being around that, yeah, it's consistent with what I've seen before, and it's not a normal dog hair, and he kind of hands it to you. Would you like to give me wits and academics?
Sure. Not great, but it's fine.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like normal dog hair. Even like the super coarse hair dog hair. This feels just a little bit beefier, a little bit tougher. So it does have a marked textural difference. It could be just a weird genetics thing with another large dog, but it's definitely some sort of dog hair. It's like typically they're going to have weird things about them, even if they are in their animalistic forms.
I can confidently say I don't know enough about animals to know one way or the other.
Yeah. There was a reason why I didn't let you have dogs.
Well, I don't like them anyway, so it's fine. I
Yeah.
don't glare at Edgar.
I don't know what you're complaining about. I follow the rules and keep her out of the garage. It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway. Let's keep moving just to make sure we're good to go.
Okay.
And you move to your next area. And you search around there. How long are you searching in each area before you're moving on?
20 minutes or so?
20 or 30, I guess.
So 20, 30 minutes. So at that pace, you search the next 2 and you don't find anything. It takes roughly an hour. You kind of look up and realize Oh, the sun's setting a lot faster than I expected it to. Would you like to keep searching?
No,
Would you like to at least finish the search in this area?
not really. But fine.
Rose does.
Edgar will.
Reluctantly, Glad's will.
Okay, so you cross the main road coming in. And can I get everyone to give me either wits and awareness or intelligence and investigation for this next area?
That one.
Will sense the unnatural help me at all if I use awareness?
Yes.
2.
Yes, it will.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring our willpower just in case.
God, I hate my rolls on Hunter.
5 for Rose.
Also 5 for Edgar.
Oh, goody, goody, because if it makes you feel any better, Faye, apparently Gladys takes after Gareth. Has very bad rolls, typically speaking. However, Rose and Edgar, as you are searching around, you don't necessarily see anything glaringly obvious until you come up on a very, very small patch of very vibrant plants. It's about 5-foot circle. And you can see the surrounding area has a very odd discoloration.
Safe to assume they're not native.
They're native. But they're just very, very vibrant for whatever reason.
Think we have problems.
Hey, Gareth.
That's not good.
And he comes running over and just kind of looks at it and says, oh, shit.
Should we leave now?
We should probably hurry back to the car as quickly as possible.
Let's go.
Rose is kind of looking around curiously, but she'll follow.
And it is
Rose,
getting...
I swear.
She's not
It
going
has
to wander
gotten-
off.
It has gotten rather dark rather fast. So can I please first get a wits and survival to figure out if you guys kind of get lost on your way back. And this will be a group thing. It won't just be individual thing.
1.
5 on a crit.
2.
Okay, so between all of you, that is 11 with a crit. So you don't get lost. Now, can I please get a stamina and athletics to see how quickly you get there?
4.
This cool.
Just that. On my lone dice.
Nice. So 4-3. Okay. So 3 of you make it rather quickly. Gladys, you don't get lost, which is the good thing. However, you make it about a quarter of the way back, and you're like, I can't run all this way. I'm not used to running in the woods.
I don't do exercise.
Kind of. So it takes you a little bit longer. It takes you about 20 minutes to get back to the car. You didn't realize exactly how big this area was. You didn't realize how deep you were in. But you make it back to the car. And by this point, it is dark. sun has fully set. And car's already running, waiting for you to get back. You hop in, and Gareth starts to drive away. And as you drive, you're going down the main road. And standing in the middle of the road is a woman. She's got a fairly simple dress on, and she looks rather angry, very dark hair. And Gareth just kind of like slams on the brakes. He's like, that's not good.
Is this what you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, don't do anything to her. Just kind of leave her alone. Maybe she'll let us pass.
Okay.
She looks pretty mad.
Does she know you?
She knows of me.
Oh, cool.
Like I said, I've never caused problems, and if she showed up, I'm just gonna let her do her thing. So some background. She's a very old vampire. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to explain it right now.
Cool. Thanks, Gareth.
Honestly, I think I probably would have preferred that earlier, but okay.
I mean, I kind of figured
Well,
it was a vampire.
Well, I was kind of hoping that she would be a couple days before she got here.
I don't know if she's that pissed. I'd probably be moving like a March hare myself.
I was gonna say, you say bed out of hell.
Well, so she's been very slow to start using any sort of technology. So apparently she very recently got some sort of transportation. Before now, she was horses.
Oh, that old.
Yeah.
I thought animals didn't like vampires.
She's one of those that they might, or she can just make them, or she knows somebody that can make them. I don't know. I don't care. I leave her alone. And mind you, this entire time, she's still just standing there, staring.
She can probably hear everything we're saying.
Right. How far away is she?
He is stopped about 30 feet away from her.
So yeah, she could probably hear. Well, do you think she'll let us pass then? I have no desire to
Yeah, no.
go with someone like that.
I don't know. We'll know in a couple minutes. And either it won't be our problem or it won't be our problem anymore.
That's one way to look
Great.
at it.
Cool. Cool.
And you just sit there with the car running for what seems like an hour. Before she finally takes a step toward the vehicle.
Oh boy. Glads will have been fidgeting with that thing that Gareth gave her.
And he's like, well, the good news is she hasn't killed us yet. And she slowly makes her way to the driver's side of the vehicle. Then just stands there and he just kind of stares at her with the window still up.
You probably want to roll it down before she gets pissed.
Oh, she's already pissed.
I mean, more so.
Yeah.
Before she decides to do it for you.
Yeah. And he reaches down and very slowly cracks the window. He's like, can I... What can we do for you? And she still just kind of sits there and stares. He's like, are we free to go? Or... Because normally if you get this close to people, you tend to hurt them, but you haven't yet. So... And frankly, you're one of the few that I'm actually legitimately scared of, because I've seen what you can do, and I would rather not.
Rose peeks curiously around the driver's side, but doesn't say anything.
Gareth, you're rambling. Stop it.
And all three of you can see the very prominent scars on her face. And eventually... And who are they?
Hi.
Colleagues. Names aren't necessarily needed. If it's okay with you. Unless if you want to give her your names.
Edgar won't let me to.
I assume you're here for Vincent.
Maybe.
That was the plan, and this entire time he's just like staring at the steering wheel. You cannot take him. He is mine. You know this. And she
Rose
kind
is
of,
like physically biting her tongue.
at this point, she actually leans into the vehicle. I am Katarzyna. What are your names?
Good evening. I'm Rose.
Edgar.
Yes.
I'm hesitant to ask, have you seen him today?
Traces, but not him.
Some fur?
Yes, that is what I removed from him last night. He has been difficult to track this time. And it is making me mad. He should not have left.
Hey.
Can I get a wits and awareness from all of you, please?
I'm gonna burn a willpower to reroll a couple of those.
Same.
6.
3.
6.
2.
I called it. Even Gladys can notice there is actually a bloodstain on the side of her gown. I will make a deal with you. I will let you leave. I will let you live if you find him for me. Let me
Yep.
know where he is generally located.
Sounds good to us.
Yeah, sure.
How would you prefer we pass on the information when we have it?
Come back here, sundown. And we will go find him again.
Sure.
Because if he is not there, we have to find him a third time. He knows the consequences of leaving. And I, for one, will not stand for it. And you can actually see her gripping the door. And you think you hear some metal kind of creak a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. We will definitely let you know if we find him.
Good. Now go. Find him. He will be here. He hurt me last night. Would be wise for me to make sure I'm 100% before dealing with him again.
Yep, we'll leave.
And she will take a couple steps back and kind of motion for you to leave. Then Gareth does not waste time. He hits the gas. Are any of you looking behind you after you leave?
Yes.
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 She is very obviously frustrated, and she kind of turns around and don't know exactly what happens, but you see some trees fall over as she kind of storms off into the forest again.
Gareth,
Ooh.
Yeah,
why didn't you say anything about that?
like I said, I was hoping that we had a couple more days before I had to even worry about it.
Hmm.
You know how long it takes to get from Michigan to here on a horse?
No.
About 3 weeks.
She was so terrifying it was actually kind of hard to breathe around her.
Yeah, she's unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Something interesting about her.
There's a lot of things interesting about her, but I don't want to actually delve into that. She at one point, and this is purely going off of just historical records that I could find. Like I said, the Earth goddess, one of the Slavic Earth goddesses, is what she went with. I've seen her legitimately swallow entire cars in the Earth, which isn't a normal thing that they can do.
What?
Yeah, that I didn't want you to immediately panic. So the fact that we got away, apparently she recognizes that she might need a little bit of help this time.
Would Gladys know anything about what that means for the kindred?
Probably not. Most kindred don't know what that means.
That's fair.
So Rose probably wouldn't either.
Yeah, no.
It was worth asking.
Mind you, I've met her all of twice, and the first time it was she saved my ass. She also left me to die with a gaping stomach wound. The second time, she was there before I was, so I wasn't going to get in the middle of that.
Wise decision, the sounds of it.
Yeah. But, we can either try to search tonight, if that's something that you three want to do, or we can try to search in the morning.
I don't know if I can sleep after that.
Oh, I have something for that. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Might be easier to search in the morning, but
I mean, I would agree. I just don't think I'm getting to sleep anytime soon without the aid of something.
Yeah.
Plus chances of being crushed by falling trees in the morning.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe he'll actually be sleeping and we can find him.
That's the hope. Honestly.
wait, if he's under the control of a vampire, do you think that affects his nocturnal versus diurnal instincts?
Yeah, can they even be?
They can. It's more so a voluntary thing. They typically can kind of shrug it off a lot better. So him being under her control is probably she probably has something that he holds dear. It's yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get in the middle of that.
Yeah. I just hope she doesn't ask us to physically help when she goes after him again, because that's good lord. That's a scary prospect.
Sounds like she might want to take care of that herself, judging by how pissed she was.
Yeah. She also might just be hungry. I don't know. With her, she's the unpredictable one for me.
Oh.
So she's the dangerous one for me. He's still dangerous, but for a different reason.
I'm tired of making all these deals with old scary vampires.
Oh, that wasn't a deal. That was just a, you're doing this.
Deal. There is no deals with them. The deal is you get away with your life.
Especially with that one.
With that said, where are we going?
The home, I guess. Kind of.
Yeah.
And he will drive back to Edgar's mother's house. When you get there, she absolutely has cookies made. They're not warm and fresh anymore, but they're there. They're the crunchy kind, though.
Nibble on one of them.
It's not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's better than the spaghetti earlier. And she was like, "You four seem very rattled. What happened?"
We went on the woods tree, almost took us out.
Oh, well, silly, you shouldn't be going walking around this time. You know, it's half mud, and the roots can be uprooted just by a stiff breeze.
We learned
I
that.
want to check this out.
That's why you got to be careful where you're walking. Are you up here on a hunting trip again? And Gareth very promptly says yes. That's exactly what we're up here for. Oh, well, Edgar, I still have your old rifle you left here, right?
Yeah.
The one that... Yeah. If you feel like you need that, it's here. I don't know what you're hunting for, but it's... isn't necessarily always the worst thing in the world if it's something dangerous. I know you went after a water buffalo one time. That was... I don't like the fact that you did that, but that is what it is. Time in Africa and all that fun stuff.
That was a job I had at the time.
Water buffalo?
Yeah, I had a friend who operated a hunting expedition company in Ghana.
And before anybody says I'm not actually making stuff up, that was actually in this backstory. Yeah, so it's... I know... I don't think we've got anything around here like that, unless if you're going after a moose, but I don't know why I'd need that for a moose.
Usually regular rifles do good with moose.
But yeah, I mean, it's here if you need it.
I'll take a look at it, just make sure it's smart. I can take a look at it, see if it's still working.
Oh, it's still working. At least it should be. I didn't touch it from the last time that you put it away. It was working then, right?
Oh yeah, that's true, it was.
So. But she's informs you that it's still in the cellar. In the big-ass case that it was in. She also directs you that if you need to calm your nerves, the cabinet is open. Edgar knows what's in the cabinet.
Sleep medicine for Gladys.
Yeah, Gladys might go check out the cabinet.
Yeah, it's a lot of gin.
Yeah,
Seemed like a gin woman. So.
You can choke down smoky stuff. I'm sure this is not going to be a problem.
Yeah, no, this is not bad. So the night kind of goes on like that. Toward the end of the night, she's like, "Oh, before I forget, I've got some ladies coming over for our quilting club. It's a weekly thing. It's my turn. I forgot about it. Normally, we don't have to do anything besides show up, but since I have company now, if you want to be around a bunch of old Bettys gossiping about everyone, you're more than welcome to stay, but I don't know if that's something that you want to do. It's from 11 to 3.
Probably not. We'll probably go back out because obviously we didn't really get to see things that well this late at night. But thank you.
In any case, make yourselves at home, please. If you are a friend of Edgar's, you are a family member of mine.
Thank you.
And she actually retires for the evening. And it's only like 8:45.
Edgar, your mom's adorable.
Thanks. She worked hard for me, so I do appreciate it.
Yeah, she seems like she actually cares, which is
Nice to
to
see.
see.
Mm-hmm.
Edgar is going to go in the cabinet and bring stuff for everyone.
Yeah, like I said, it's mainly just that one thing. There's just a lot of it.
That's fine. So, Gareth, anything else we need to know?
I don't know what type she is. I also don't care. I don't know specifically what type he is either. Do you know that werewolves have types too?
Eh. I never really got to read a whole lot of that stuff until recently.
Yeah. I was trying to dissuade you from doing any of this. But,
And yet you set me up with Nichols.
well, I thought that she was just a regular private investigator at this point.
Far from it.
How? Yeah, apparently. But in any case, yeah, apparently there's like hierarchies and everything. At least he's not considered a warrior amongst them. I know that much.
That probably helps in our favor.
Yeah, if he was considered quote unquote a warrior, that would be really bad.
I would imagine so.
Also, I highly doubt that she's completely alone. She usually has at least one or two people with her. So more than likely we were followed.
Wonderful.
Probably not that big of a deal. But just putting that one out there.
I'll keep it in mind.
But yeah. Let me tell you what I do know about him. And he kind of goes off on this little tangent of he was seen in Pennsylvania at one point, in Indiana, went up to Canada, made it all the way down to Kentucky once. But that's about as far as Gareth knows that he's wandered.
Is he
Happens every few years.
running from her?
I don't know, to be honest with you. It might be running from her. It might be just a rebellious something. I mean, it's got to be a rebellious something. Otherwise, why would you leave? But she always shows up and he always goes back. Normally, there's not an actual fight like this one had, apparently.
That's such a weird dynamic.
Yeah. Part of me says that she doesn't care anything about him. That it's purely just because she has claimed him. Part of me says that she cares something about him. some weird degree, and something part of me says that he kind of cares about her to some weird degree, but I don't know. Those two are weird.
Yeah, apparently.
Where were they originally from?
Michigan, I think southeast, probably Detroit if I had to guess, but I'm not 100% sure.
What's going on up there?
I tend to just try to stay away from there. It's odd. I don't know.
Yeah, we were in Michigan not super long ago.
And what were you doing? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, well. And then explain everything that happened in Michigan.
No. You know what that symbol meant, right?
Yeah.
No.
Oh wait, I think Gladys did. I think Gladys
I think she
did.
just knew it was sort of Cain, but didn't necessarily know the details.
Yeah. I mean, sorta. I know it's a bad thing.
Yeah, it's a bad thing. So you know they have different groups
Yes.
on top of their families, clans, I think they call them. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you have the monarchy thing, then you have the kind of republic thing, and then you have the third one that we tend to not talk about because it's kind of chaos. But it's organized chaos. It's very odd. Honestly, it's kind of like the military. They want to subjugate pretty much everyone, and I don't know. It's odd. I think they call themselves like the Sabbath or the sub something or another. I don't know. But it's they cause problems for them. Like big problems for them.
Cool. Well, at least they're down a few members.
That is positive. And you said it was a Malkavian?
Yeah.
You know they can make you see shit, right? Outside of the like very momentary, oh look, a butterfly. Like they can make you see your worst possible dreams.
What are you seeing,
Yep.
Edgar? You were pretty wrapped up in whatever it was he got you on.
It lasted for a second, but I started thinking I was back in the trenches.
I mean, it lasted longer than a second. You took some pretty hard shots at what's-her-face.
I mean, that other thing, I don't know, I just felt like I should shoot her for some reason.
Yeah, that's because he told you to. Probably.
Sure.
I mean, I'm all for, offing all of them, but she was taking care of the ones we were really after.
Maybe she's a rogue agent. Or maybe they were.
Yeah, I'm not sure. She was just really, really adamant that she had to take care of them.
Either way, I don't care. There are few of them now.
Yep,
Fewer of them now, and that's what really matters.
exactly. Unfortunately, she got away too. But
You said that she was going to Detroit.
yeah, that's what she said.
I hope those two don't know each other.
That would probably be not good.
Yeah. Especially if you worked with that one. And then maybe the information can be traded. I don't know.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. Let's just hope this one's a real bad recluse. Doesn't deal with anyone.
I mean, it sounds like she is.
Yeah, to a
From what
certain
you've
degree.
said. I mean, aren't most of them anyway?
After they get a certain age, yes. And so I told you she was old.
I mean, old enough to take on the name of a goddess, so yeah, I assume old.
Yeah.
Also old enough to go toe to toe with a werewolf and survive.
Yeah. I've got records from like 1260 something that she was around. She was probably around for a while before that. So
Oh,
yeah.
that's terrifying.
Yeah, that's you're 700 years now.
What does one even do with all that time?
I don't want to know.
Control werewolves, apparently. And the earth.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to know. That's a terrifying concept to me.
Yep, nope, I'll take my human lifespan, thank you.
Yeah. Some of us actively try to shorten our human lifespans.
I mean, every time we go out on a hunt, it feels like we are.
A little bit.
Do you keep going out on these hunts?
I have no idea.
Because I taught
I'm-
you to do that, sort of. It's my fault.
Rose gives Gareth a curious look.
I kept it away from you so much that I feel like it kind of drove you to it. Because you were curious.
It's gotta carry on.
You would always ask, and you would always want to know, and I was trying to keep it from you. So when you figured out what was going on, I feel like now you have to know everything.
Yeah, well. I inherited that curiosity.
Yeah. In any case, we should probably get some sleep. Hit it hard in the morning. Hopefully we'll be able to find something, give the information, and leave. That would be ideal. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Yes. So, all three have a good night. If you hear anything during the night, don't hesitate to say something.
Fingers crossed we don't.
Before Edgar goes to bed, he's actually gonna check everything. See if they are being watched right now.
Okay, go ahead and give me whatever roll you feel like is necessary for that.
What's an awareness, probably? There you go.
Does not seem as though you're being watched.
Not too bad.
I'm assuming the girls are bunking together and the boys are too. Or is it just a living room pile?
Edgar's got a bedroom.
Yeah, Edgar has a bedroom. Rose and Gladys are stuffed in a room together. Gareth was kind of handed stuff to sleep on the couch.
That's fine.
Rose will putter around. Rose will putter around a little, just a little bit longer before she actually settles down.
Hey, Glads will take some time messing with the thing that Gareth gave her.
You have a thing for metallurgy, right?
I do.
Go ahead and give me intelligence, and I think it's science and metallurgy, right?
Academics. But I get the same amount of dice for science too.
Yeah, so just go ahead and give me that pool, see if you can figure out why it's so damn heavy.
1.
It might be filled with lead. Who knows?
Six dice.
Yeah. So you get some sleep. Make sure that you give yourself back 1 willpower, please. You wake up in the morning, and lo and behold, Edgar's mom has actually not cooked breakfast, but went and bought breakfast for everyone. Cinnamon rolls.
That sounds really good.
So you all are fed before you leave. And yeah, Gareth is like, well, I do have 2 places that we can look today. One is a nursery, and then the other one is actually the botanical gardens.
You think you'd risk going back?
No, not to the grove, not to the park.
Well, I picked where we started last time.
Which one has a better chance of having a lower foot traffic?
Well, the botanical gardens, because nobody owns it, and groundskeepers shovel when there's snow, and then they don't do anything this time of year. The other one, some lady actually owns it. It's kind of big though. She's got some greenhouses that she tends to.
Especially if he got wind that she's here already. I feel like he'd prioritize hiding. But that's just my guess.
To the gardens.
Sounds like.
Sounds close.
Okay. So you make your way to the gardens. And as you pull up, late spring, early summer, this place is probably beautiful. Now it's a lot of dead bushes, empty flower beds. Positive part is there's pavers everywhere, so you don't have to worry about like getting muddy today.
It's the most fun.
You make your way inside. And you start searching around. It's you've got some very distinctive sections. They've got the big rose garden, and then they've got the like flowering bushes. They've actually got fruit trees in here, which is kind of neat. There's no fruit on them right now. As well as a couple other smaller like plants from around the world and such. So, where would all of you like to start? Or would you actually like to split up?
Not particularly, but we could.
We always start in denser stuff, see if anything's been moved around.
2 and 2, and then keep within shouting distance?
Sounds good.
Okay. So who is pairing up? I assume I know, however I want to get confirmation.
Does Gladys want to go with Gareth?
Yeah.
Figures.
Rose then.
Okay. So, as you split up, can I get wits and awareness from everyone, please?
I think you're spending willpower.
2.
3.
Give me just a sec. 5.
Okay. So one from each group, got it. Both of you, well, Rose, you realize about the same time Gareth does, which obviously you don't know this. You see oddly colored squirrels kind of following you as they're jumping through trees and such. And Gareth will actually point that out to Gladys. They look like they may or may not have a weird green tinge to them. They blend in very well with what little greenery there actually is, though. Does Rose want to point this out to Edgar?
Not yet. If he doesn't notice after a little bit, she might, but...
Yeah, no, he doesn't notice. He's more worried about trying to find hide or hair of the person that you're trying to find.
Does he point that out to Glads?
Yes.
Green squirrels? Do they
They've
come
been
in that
around. They're not natural.
Obviously.
I think it's something she does. I don't know though.
That's weird.
Like I said, they've been around. They just seem like they're watchdogs.
Oh. So now we have to watch out for squirrels too.
Only if she's around. That's what I was saying. That she's probably not alone and probably followed. But they've never bothered me.
Do they only show up when this happens?
Yeah. When she shows up, they sometimes show up. It's not usually more than like 2 or 3. So,
Hey.
like I said, odd little occurrence, but yeah. But as you continue to walk around the gardens, you find very few places that he could actually hide. And the places that you do find, he is not there. There's no sign. And you find a couple of workers that are kind of walking around, making sure everything's good to go. And Gareth asked some questions. They said they haven't had anybody in there in a couple months. Had somebody get married in the middle of winter there. It's real pretty because, snow everywhere, but beyond that, no. Anything anybody would like to do, you're there.
Keep an eye on those squirrels.
Okay. So, hopping back into the vehicle, it is just after lunchtime. You spent a few hours there. But then again, you had some time to be able to do that. I assume you would want to actually stop for lunch before going to the next place.
Yes.
Yes. Sandwiches.
Okay. Yes, always the sandwiches. And I know there's a Wisconsin special sandwich. I don't remember what it is, but that's what Gareth gets.
Just get a random sandwich.
Yeah.
Probably the same thing.
Yeah.
Just because Glad's never been here.
Yeah, and they're not bad. It just seems like everything's real simple here. Nothing's overly seasoned.
Is it cheesy?
Yes. And for whatever reason, there's a bunch of G's up everywhere with like a green border. I don't know why that would be.
Who knows? Wild.
So you, after a decent lunch, make your way over to this nursery. And it's actually kind of big. You can clearly see she's got like 4 or 5 greenhouses. It seems like she's planting plants for the coming seasons. And you can see this one woman just out there working by herself.
Question, have we gotten a description of Vincent at this point?
You would have. Which, if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me if I'm wrong. On the taller side, long black hair.
Brown.
Dark brown, right?
Yep.
With a bit of a beard.
Slight.
Yeah. And you can see her kind of working, and as you come up, she wipes her hands off and goes to the front into the actual shop area. You're just like, so what are we going to say that why we want to walk around? Just perusing, or do we have a specific reason?
We're looking for something for a friend of ours who really likes plants. And oh, by the way, has she seen him? Because we thought he might come here.
Okay.
That works.
Yeah,
Sure.
that'll work. Just wanted to make sure that we got a consistent story.
Yeah, I think that's a good story.
Yeah. That'll work well enough. So he hops out and heads inside.
Let us
The-
goes.
The sign on the door says Paula's Petunias. The woman inside, she's late 40s, mid 40s, somewhere in there. She's, well, welcome. Is there anything that I can help you with?
Oh, we're looking for any... Well, we're just kind of looking for plants in particular. Or nothing in particular, I'm sorry. For a friend of ours. He really likes plants, and especially the ones that, like, aren't really native to the area. Do you have any?
I think so. Anything specific? Any region specifically that you're looking for anything native to?
Europe?
Greenhouse number 5, actually. I think I've got some stuff. I don't have a lot. To be frank, it's not. They don't sell well around here. It's something I'm just trying to get rid of and move on from it. But, yeah, it's. If you want to go take a look, just please don't touch.
Of course.
Some of the things are very, very delicate, so. And if you need anything, my name's Paula. I'm sure the sign on the door probably gave that away.
Well, I didn't know if it was you. How it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet. Well, it's nice to meet you as well. If I'm not in here and I'm not out there, just knock on the office door, which is right through there, and I will help you as best I can.
You know, I do have one other question for you. I'm surprised my friend isn't here. Have you seen him? His name is Vincent, and he's tall and has long brown hair and kind of a scruffy goatee mustache thing.
I think I might have seen him yesterday, but To be fair, he didn't come in. He just kind of walked past. But I don't know. Maybe I saw somebody like that yesterday. I didn't really get a good look at him. I did see the long hair. It was darker. And he was kind of tall, so maybe it was him.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a problem. Just like I said, let me know if I'm not outside. I'm gonna be either in here or in there. So
Okay.
and she will go back to doing what she was doing. And you head out to the greenhouses?
Yes.
All right. And each of them seems to have a very distinctive name. The first one's Alvin, next one's Simon, third one's Theodore. But you get number 5. And that one actually doesn't have a name. It also seems to be relatively new.
Take a look inside.
You step inside, and it is balmy in here. Like you three probably have jackets on.
Yeah.
And like long sleeve shirts. It's warm, legitimately warm. Immediately, jackets come off, sleeves get rolled up, and it's not a small greenhouse either. It'll take a couple minutes to like actually search around. Would anybody like to give me the proper searching rolls?
Yes. As we're doing this, Rose would like to pop up sense the unnatural in seeing how big it is, because she doesn't want to be taken by surprise by a werewolf.
Okay, give me that roll, please.
Okay.
Can I do intelligence and investigation?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I rolled 5.
It's okay, Edgar rolled the 2.
6.
Okay. So, Rose, you immediately get a very faint smell of wet dog. And when I say faint, it's just very faint, like residuals. Which you're probably walking around just trying to figure out exactly where it's coming from. And about the time that you figure it out, Gladys, you come across this very specific plant. It is a specific type of holly bush that is native to Eastern Europe. It is not native to the U.S. And you find just a very small scrap of cloth in it.
Look it out.
It seems to be just a plain black piece of fabric. However, there is a singular long hair on it. It's very dark, very brown.
Well, I think he was here. Even if he's not
That
now.
would explain the. Well, that would explain the faint odor of wet canine.
Well, that's good. It's also good that he's not around right now. We can tell, at least, I think.
How fresh does it seem, Rose?
Like I said, it was pretty faint.
So probably yesterday. Or that's where he slept last night.
Or it's such a small sample that that's all she can pick up.
I'm not picking up anything else as I've been puttering around the place.
Is there any place to leave footprints here?
As a matter of fact, there is a back door.
Go take a look.
It would seem the locking mechanism has been unsecured, which is fairly obvious. You push it, and you don't actually even have to turn the handle, and the latch swings up.
Maybe this is where he's been sleeping.
Could be.
Do we want to stake it out tonight?
I mean, first I think we need to go to that meeting place so we don't make the big scary vampire angry.
Yeah, let's not anger Katrina.
Yeah, probably for the best. Unless you can track it, Rose.
Would Rose be able to track it as things stand, or is it too faint to follow?
I will allow you to attempt with a wits and survival.
Okay, that's not my greatest roll, but I'll try.
Edgar will help with that.
Oh no, this is purely off of smell. So
Okay.
Come on, sniffer dog.
4?
that will not be enough.
Yeah. Can't roll too much better. I've only got 1 dice to reroll.
Do you have any crits currently?
No.
Then you wouldn't be able to get it. So, yeah, you kind of poke around outside and you lose it, unfortunately.
Too faint. It's been too long.
Unfortunate. Well, at least we have a place to tell her tonight.
Yeah, which is a positive, I guess.
I would rather come back to her with information than nothing.
My question is he going to smell that we've been here and bolt?
I mean, maybe, but he shouldn't know. This is a shop.
Well, yeah, and what I can do is I've got something that will cover up any smell if we really wanted to. Don't ask how I got it. It's just something that I got.
Will it leave a suspicious lack of everything behind?
Oh no, it'll just smell like a cat in heat.
Oh, I mean, gross, but sure.
It's useful for stuff like this. And he takes a very small bottle and kind of like splashes some liquid around, and it smells awful.
Gross.
Rose gags a little
That's
bit.
so gross. But yes, useful. Let's leave. Gladys will
Yeah.
make for the door.
Rose is right behind her.
So you hop back in the car and go back to the house. You manage to miss the quilting club.
Good.
Dinner, however, has actually been made, and it is a good old-fashioned, and this is going to sound gross, but it's better than it sounds, boiled dinner. Ham, carrots, potatoes, cabbage.
Hey, it's filling.
It's simple,
Yep.
but she also puts a large tub of butter down. And she's like, you can use it as you need, or you can not. But I at least made something that Edgar actually liked. At least like growing up.
Ham's always good.
Oh, good to know.
You get a nice, filling, warming dinner.
It's certainly something.
And Gareth seems a little bit more upbeat tonight. Actually engages Edgar's mom, which does ask like what everybody does for a living. Besides the obvious, because Edgar's now an owner of a garage. Wanted to know if you actually work on vehicles or not, because it's weird for women to work on vehicles.
It served me well. Keeps me from being beholden to a man.
Oddly, she is sentimental toward that. And after dinner, she offers drinks, which Garrett's like, no, I'll pass. We do have one more thing that we want to go take a look at. I think we're almost done with what we're trying to find. Maybe we can find it tonight. Who knows?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to keep a clear head.
Oh, well. Change mind. I restocked.
I might when we come back.
Okay. And she will make herself a gin and tonic because that's what she does. And you four, around sundown, head back out to the grove. Now, do you go out in the woods, or would you like to just stay in the parking lot this time?
So you suggested to go into the woods. I guess that's how Edgar gathered it.
We should go to the spot exactly where we met her, like she said.
It's fairly obvious where that spot is because there is a small cluster of downed trees. And it looks like there was a small earthquake.
I really don't want to go wandering off into the woods. Things don't end well for us when we do that.
I'm just going to sit here.
Yep.
Rose will meander figure eights, kind of pacing around, keeping an eye out, waiting.
And you do that, and sun goes down, a half hour goes by. And sure enough, exactly as you expected, she starts walking toward you. Have you found him?
More signs, but no actual him.
We believe we might know where he's sleeping, though.
Take me there.
I'm just gonna Gladys get out of the front seat and hold the door open.
She'll slide into the front seat.
And Gladys is popping in the back.
A small green squirrel hops in her lap, and she kind of like shoos it off, and it gets in the seat next to her.
Rose leans down curiously to look at the squirrel.
It's just one. And actually, it's the same one that you saw earlier.
Huh.
And Gareth turns around and silently drives to the nursery.
No talking.
No talking whatsoever.
Not from Gladys.
No questions. No
Rose-
comments.
Rose would probably be curious enough to ask about the squirrel.
You get a very terse, "It's not mine."
Huh.
Which Gareth looks very confused about.
Rose will probably spend most of the drive watching the squirrel, honestly.
It kind of hops from the seat to the dashboard, back to the seat, back to the dashboard a couple times before it kind of just eventually settles on like a headrest. It does, however, stare at all of you kind of curiously.
They're right back at it.
Would be a mild interest with Edgar too.
Does anybody try to touch it?
No.
No.
Rose
Yes.
is curious, but she's not that.
So you do try to touch it.
Yes.
Give me just a straight dexterity roll, please.
None.
It bites the end of the finger and it draws blood, but it doesn't actually do any damage.
Well, this is why we don't touch wild animals.
I couldn't help it.
You
This
couldn't
is-
help it.
It is as wild as a domesticated dog. Its master is more wild than it is.
Who does it belong to?
A child.
A child? Forgive me, but isn't that kind of frowned upon?
I do not know the circumstances. I also do not care.
Fair.
He is useful when needed, though.
Is he around too?
No. This one knows how to write. Crudely, but knows how to write.
It's interesting.
If it is around long enough, you can teach them how to do almost anything. He has one very big one that is the commander.
Rose is just like hanging on her words.
This is just going to sit back in confusion.
Good. But you pull up to the nursery. And all is dark. Except there are a couple lights on in the greenhouses. She kind of turns to all of you. Which one is he in?
5.
5. Come.
Hello.
I will bind him when we get him some food. He, however, might squirm.
Okay.
It is hard for one person to hold on to it. And she steps out, and the squirrel just kind of beds down in the seat and goes to take a nap. Gareth kind of turns around. I don't know how much we should trust her, but I also don't think it's smart to not
I think
do
we're
what
gonna,
she asks.
I think we're gonna die if we don't.
Yeah. So everybody's stuff's in the back. Let's grab it. Let's go. Edgar.
Yep.
Did you bring your very large weapon?
Yes.
There is a reason why I'm asking now. Because this one, I feel like, is a let me know what you have, and it just is now. So, would we like to go through what each of you have? Or would we like to do it next time?
15 Molotov cocktails in the black box. And her bolt gun thing. The crossbow.
Okay.
Gibbs rifle, handgun, and French knife just as a last stand.
Question: would we have divvied up the werewolf bullets the day prior?
You probably have them. All of them.
But who would have them is my question.
You.
Okay.
Especially if the only firearm that Edgar has is a handgun and then the Gibbs rifle.
Okay. So, Rose would definitely have as many werewolf bullets on her as she could get her hands on. And she will have both the sniper rifle and the shotgun. And appropriate ammo.
So just the sniper rifles, the ones with the werewolf bullets. The shotgun, you can't really do that with the setup that they have.
I figured that would be the case, but it's still nice to have something for a little bit shorter range.
Question. Between calling the group and leaving and getting ready, could Gladys have made a couple of silver stakes for her crossbow?
I don't know what this whole maid is. Gareth already has them.
Well, I made modified for her thing, whatever.
No, he already has them.
Okay. Cool.
The second you showed it to him, he's like, all right, cool, I'm going to make a couple.
Okay, sweet. So we have a few?
I'd say 3 or 4.
Okay. I'll take it. Oh. I had a hollow tipped one. Or I had a couple hollow tip, 4 hollow tips. That was the werewolf ones, the special werewolf ones, I think, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So I have those too.
So, now that we know what everyone has, and you have gotten your things, you approach the greenhouse. And you can kind of see Cat is just standing there. Can I get wits and awareness from everyone?
Dude,
None.
5 on a crit.
So, 2 of you are very, very scared of the situation. Don't know any. Gareth and Rose seem to look a little bit further beyond. And there seems to be commotion in greenhouse number 5. And Cat says, he is here. And that is where we're going to leave our cell until next time. When we get to actually see what's going on.
Oh boy.
So, so some end of session announcements. Thank you for anybody that's still with us on Twitch. I know we have actually quite a few tonight, which is fantastic.
Yes.
If you are curious and want to do so, we have links pretty much everywhere for our link tree. You can find our socials. You can find our Discord there. You can find our Patreon if that's something that you want to do. And our Dice affiliate is currently doing some maintenance on their site, so that is not currently able to be used. So, but yeah, if you want to join our Discord, we would greatly appreciate it. We don't have a whole lot of people, but we would like to. And we like to have as much engagement as physically possible. But I believe, yep, they just put the Discord link in the chat. So
I did. To do that, all you have to do is !Discord. Because I got a chat bot set up.
Yep. So on that link tree, like I said, it takes you pretty much everywhere. Twitch, YouTube, the actual other socials. If you want to follow, subscribe, all that other fun stuff, you can do that from there. If you're finding us, on YouTube and would like to join us, we play Sundays and Tuesdays, and sometimes Thursdays, depending on exactly what's going on and what else is going on. Sundays alternate between a vampire game in Indianapolis and a vampire game in Atlanta, both of which seem to be ramping up a little bit for stuff. Very intriguing, let's put it that way. And then Tuesdays are a vampire game in Detroit, and then of course our hunter game. So that is fun, and obviously this one is something's happening. Detroit is things are happening rather quickly now.
Yeah, things are ramping up there too.
Yeah, things are ramping up all over the place. It seems to be fun.
I run the Detroit game. Buttons runs the indie game.
And I run the Hunter and Atlanta game. And then, like I said, every once in a while on Thursdays, which I think we're going to start doing maybe a once a month, maybe twice a month, non-World of Darkness game. That is a space horror type thing. which we did a one-shot for if you want to see that. I believe it's on YouTube now.
It is. The sound quality is not super great because there was a lot of background issues going on. It was done during the first, so yeah, background noise. But the game itself was really interesting, and we had a lot of fun with it. It's called The Void.
Yep, and we have enlisted a doctor to join the crew.
In game, not in real life.
Yeah. Buttons wishes that they were a doctor. I wish Buttons was a doctor, but unfortunately,
Buttons does not wish she was a doctor.
I'm not saying like cut people open doctor. Psychologists are doctors too. But yeah, that is. If you're interested in anything like that, come join us for that, or be on the lookout for that. But we typically are on Thursdays as well. Maybe just talking.
Hit or miss. Lately.
Yeah, lately. But typically somebody's on, at least two of us. So yeah. But anyway, that is all of our announcements. I'm not going to keep harping on all that fun stuff for too much longer. If you want to stick around and potentially get some spoilers, get some Easter eggs, get some things explained, by all means do that. If you are not one of those people that wants that stuff, which some of it I understand, some of it I don't know why you wouldn't, but that's fine. Now would be your time to leave. So, whenever Faye decides that the thing is going to be switched. So, potential spoilers ahead.
We do Sillerin. We play Tuesdays and Sundays, and then we do like a talks thing on Thursdays where we just get on and chat, and sometimes we'll play games or one-shots or something. I run a game every other Tuesday, which is a Vampire the Masquerade game set in Detroit. This one is Nichol's Cryptid Catchers, which is a hunter game. Is the alternate Tuesday. And then Sundays alternates two different vampire games. They start at 9:30 EST. Ish.
Or at least we try to.
Ish. Today we started a little bit late, but we attempt to start around 9:30. And then we run for a few hours.
Yep. At least until 12:30 EST.
Yes.
If not a little bit later sometimes.
Yeah, and then we'll do a post-games talk where we just kind of wrap things up, wind down, ask questions, and give spoilers.
Yep. Maybe.
And talk with chat.
Yes. So yeah, now would be the time that if you have any questions, if you want anything explained, I can potentially help, or Faye can help, because two of the people are definitely Faye's creation.
Yeah.
We actually used to do some D&D back in the day.
Yeah, we did before the whole
OGL fiasco.
Yeah, we ended our game after that and moved to World of Darkness, which, while they have issues, not OGL issues.
Yes, we are pausing for the evening. We will be picking up in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, this is around the time our games actually end, because unfortunately most of us work in the morning.
Yeah.
Hit or miss on my days off, but you know.
Really, mine's not necessarily a morning issue for work. It's a morning issue for kids, so.
Mine's a morning issue because I just don't function before 10 o'clock in the morning naturally.
I don't like to. I typically don't get a lot of sleep after our game nights. And yeah, Murs, this is what Dengle does to us.
Lots of cliffhangers.
Oh, so many cliffhangers. Oh.
to be fair, the next portion of this would probably take a minute. So I was like, let's not run 3 hours long or 2 hours long.
Yeah.
I guess.
So
That just means you guys have to come back for the next game.
yeah, that's the important thing. Give you a reason to come back.
Mhm.
So, any questions for myself or Feyla?
Oh.
Not just from chat. You can ask from the other two as well.
How much stuff did we miss?
So far, actually nothing.
Good.
There's been rolling decently for this game.
Yes. You have one more thing that will kind of decide as to how much of the quote-unquote bonus experience you get. But that will happen next game. And I believe Faye already knows what that is. That has something to do with the commotion.
Oh, yeah, I can kind of take a guess as to what's going on.
Does anyone else have a guess? It should be fairly obvious.
I think I know too.
It's actually part of her stuff that you guys didn't see. Assuming I'm correct. There's a reason her store in Detroit is called the Living Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Question for you, Dengle, actually, from the last game. Did we technically get experience from the last one, or no?
Technically, no.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Not-
I didn't write any down, but...
Not from these characters.
That's fine.
And actually, no, it is not the plants that are attacking Vincent.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh, okay. Well, what wasn't me then?
No, unfortunately. Not yet, at least. They will.
Is an army of squirrels attacking him?
No, Vincent's attacking something. Or someone.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Will there be a feed me Seymour moment? I don't know.
God, I hope
I guess
so.
we'll have to find out.
This is the other kindred?
No, this isn't Nain.
No, not that one.
Other one.
I'll message you. Yeah, don't touch the green squirrels, they bite. I am absolutely going to be making a green squirrel emote.
I am
wonderful.
actually going to head out a little bit early because I got no sleep last night, and I
Ooh.
actually want sleep tonight
Boo.
because I have to be functional tomorrow. Do we need to? Let's see. I can't guarantee that I'll be there Thursday night. I'll let you know for sure Thursday morning.
Okay.
Adios.
Farewell. That was a quick peace out from her. Yeah, we didn't miss much. I don't know.
I'll put my other thought in general chat.
I'm probably not going to be running the stream too much longer.
Yeah, that's fair. She's not dead yet.
Oh boy.
Nen. However, yes, she is being attacked.
Oh shit.
So yeah. So any other questions for me?
No, I do need to get to bed. I unfortunately work
That's
early tomorrow instead of in the evening like usual.
That sucks.
Yeah.
You didn't do Clopen, did you?
No, I haven't actually
Great.
worked the past 4 days. It's been fantastic.
Ah.
But I work the next 3.
Hmm.
And then I open, close, close. Or open, mid, close, or something like that.
Still, that's not as bad as it could be.
No, and I've got Saturday off, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's like the one upside to working 4 days a week. I took my one of my vacation days this week, which is why I only work 3 days, so it's great because I get paid for it.
What is vacation? What is day off?
I mean, yeah, I got nothing for your situation.
Yeah. And as far as the beard is concerned, not quite to the extent that I had it. I am attempting to get a promotion, so I have to look professional. Dumb. But anyway. And if I do get it, the promotion that I would get, the people I'd be working around are uptight. Put it that way.
So you'd have to mostly stay clean. Or at least trimmed.
Yeah, and like have to wear long sleeves because
Tattoos and such.
yeah, they don't like those.
Mm. Oh, would it not be work from home anymore?
No, it would be, but I would have to go on site.
Oh. Fair.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like I said.
I think that's going to be the end of the stream, because I got to get to bed. So thanks for showing up, guys. Sillerin, I hope we see you again.
So I hope we see everyone again.
Yes.
And we very much appreciate everyone that has engaged.
Well, yes, of course. More engagement means more people see it, so it really helps.
Yes. Invite your friends. That would also help. That would be actually wonderful.
Yes.
So, all right. Everyone stay safe, stay warm. It's supposed to get real cold in the next couple days, I think. For pretty much everyone.
No storm warnings.
Yeah.
Love it.
We're getting a winter weather advisory, and that's a problem.
Yeah. So have a good one, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.